Segregation can be found everywhere and anywhere, even today, but in the 1960s it raged on every street. Buses, fountains, bathrooms, and schools all were segregated to prove a point that whites were superior. Organizations like the NAACP, or National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, recognized this behavior as unconstitutional and spread the news and opened people's minds. Shortly after many important events, the civil rights movement was among everyone, even if people didn't accept it. Many people soon came to reality. However, others didn't. One example was George Wallace. Elected in 1962, George Wallace became the newest Democratic governor of Alabama. Famous for his scarring words and actions, George Wallace became the most well-known prominent segregationist resistance of the civil rights movement. On January 14, 1963, Wallace gave an address. On this day, America saw his true colors. Yet another time, he stated, if necessary, he would place himself between an all-white school and any black student trying to enter. And on June 11, 1963, George Wallace did just that. He stood in front of the University of Alabama, protesting against two African Americans from entering the building. The Brown v. Board of Education case made segregation illegal in all schools, but that didn't stop George Wallace. In this chaotic event, President Kennedy ordered and sent 100 troops to remove him, but that wasn't enough. Shortly after the troops arrived, Wallace decided to give up because he didn't want to put himself in danger.
Well, you make your statement, but we don't need you to make a speech. You make your statement.
I will make my statement, Governor. I was in the process of making my statement. And I'm asking from you an unequivocal assurance that you will not bar entry to these students, to Vivian Malone and to James Hood, and that you will step aside peacefully, do your constitutional duty as Governor.
As Governor and Chief Magistrate of the state of Alabama, it is a right of every citizen, however humble he may be, through his chosen officials of representative government, to stand courageously against whatever he believes to be the exercise of power beyond the constitutional rights conferred upon our federal government. It is this right which I assert for the people of Alabama by my presence here today. Now, therefore, I, George C. Wallace, as Governor of the state of Alabama, do hereby denounce and forbid this illegal and unwarranted action by the central government.
Governor Wallace, I take it from that statement that you are going to stand in that door and that you are not going to carry out the orders of this court, and that you are going to resist us from doing so. Is that correct?
I stand upon the statement.
Stand upon that statement. Governor, I'm not interested in a show. I don't know what the purpose of the show is. I ask you once more, the choice is yours. There is no choice that the United States government has in this but to see that the lawful orders of its court are enforced. Very well. Students will remain on the campus.
But for the unwarranted federalization of the National Guard, I would at this moment be your commander-in-chief. In fact, I am your commander-in-chief, and I am the governor of your state and your governor. And I know this is a bitter pill to swallow for those in the National Guard of this state. We shall now return to Montgomery for the purpose of continuing this fight, this constitutional fight, because we are winning. We shall continue to work for a better Alabama for all the people of this state, both white and Negro. And it is my prayer that God above shall bless all the people of this state, both white and black.
Shortly after George Wallace left, Vivian Malone walked in. Years later, a man attempted to kill George Wallace. He ended up in the hospital. A couple years after he left the hospital, he ended up dying.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be
By taking a negative stand, you get a whole different perspective. But if you were to take a positive stand for justice and equality, you would see the world would be a better place for everyone and anyone, no matter what color their skin is. Even today, segregation still goes on. It is inevitable in our world. Yet by having inappropriate leaders like George Wallace, we learn from our mistakes. Don't repeat history. Make it.
hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots be on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up. One